I ain't worried about my lifestyle. I'm the new thing with a bright smile. Catch me when I'm out in public. Always show them love and I know they love it. Give you a reason to love me this season. I'm taking my chances. I hope it enhances my...
All right, welcome to Romera Records Podcast. Today we have on Marques Williams. Marques works with me at Owens Corning, and he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yep, just got my black belt about 3 weeks ago. So
this podcast looks a little different. Usually we are in my studio room and whatnot, but today we are watching the Florida and Kentucky football game. Right now Florida is up 7-0, so you're catching us with 4 minutes in the first quarter. And basically this podcast will just involve us watching the game, commentating a little bit, and
talking about nonsense.
Yeah.
Talking about things that people really don't care about. But we care about it.
Exactly.
So screw them.
One thing I was actually upset about this week was I was going to watch that presidential debate, and I missed it.
Yeah, I did too. Was it the Democratic?
Yeah, was there a Republican one?
I don't think so. I think it was Democratic.
Okay.
I seen it on TV, and then I was like, yeah, no. And I turned the channel. If I wanted to hear lies, I could go to the bar. I could go to the bar at happy hour if I want to hear people lie about what's happening.
See, I never watch any of those things, so I was just like, let's just find out what they talk about.
I'm sure it's, you know what? I feel like the debates now, whether it's Democratic or Republican, should probably be on like MTV. You know what I mean? Like a reality show, because I feel like it's more entertainment than it is anything.
For real.
Yeah. Cause
that would be hilarious if they put that on.
It would, wouldn't it? Most of these candidates would probably get like TV show deals out of these debates.
Then they have like Cardi B performing and whatnot.
Yeah, man, it's getting ridiculous now. Like I can see with the president getting ready to hit the red button and Drake comes out singing a song. It's crazy. I don't understand it, but hey, to each his own.
For real.
So yeah, so the Gators are undefeated, obviously. If they don't tackle this wide receiver,
did he lose the ball?
No, I think he was down. But yeah, so we opened the season. Actually, we opened the college football season playing Miami, which was a pretty tough game.
That was a good game to
it
watch.
It was really good game. I got a lot of flack from my friends about us almost losing, especially my Tennessee Vol friends, about us almost losing to Miami. And then they go out the next week and lose to Georgia State, and of course BYU last week. But BYU played USC today.
Yeah,
beat them.
Beat USC. 30-27.
BYU might be cracking the top 25 soon. I think they lost to Utah the first game though, and Utah is ranked though.
Yeah,
Utah is 25. So
people got Utah to be in the playoff because
really?
I mean, who's going to beat them? BYU just beat USC,
right? But
they just got to get by Oregon.
But then you got to think, who did they play? I mean, if they beat Oregon, but I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough game for them.
Well, let's see. They put Washington and – so Washington's only Pac-12 team, I believe, to get into the playoff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they put Washington in, and who did Washington beat that year?
That's true. But did they play Stanford that year? Did Washington play Stanford?
I have no idea.
I know those West Coast teams, they kind of beat up on themselves, especially Stanford, USC, UCLA, Washington.
And Stanford is losing to UCF right now.
Yeah, UCF is a good team, though.
It was like 45-27 last time I checked.
Yeah. Stanford, they're not what they used to be in those Andrew Luck days, but all right, so the first quarter's winding up. Still up 7-0 on Kentucky. If you hadn't noticed already, I'm definitely an avid Florida fan. Always have been. Been kind of difficult though, living in Tennessee, being a Florida fan, especially younger. The Tennessee pride was really heavy when I was a kid. That's before social media. Now it's crazy. I get a meme every other day about how terrible Florida is from a Tennessee fan. So
being in a different state, do you ever feel like it's kind of weird to wear like your team stuff around like a bunch of, not really weird, but like I know you're not a very like looking for confrontation type of person.
No,
I'm not that way either. So sometimes I'm like, man, I don't feel like dealing with it. I'm not gonna wear Alabama stuff today.
Well, from an Alabama perspective, you actually got more fans in Tennessee than Florida. Yeah, there's a lot of Alabama fans.
I've seen a lot of Alabama fans in Tennessee.
So from my perspective, being a Gator and a Gators fan, I will tell you this: we went to Knoxville, the Neyland Stadium. I guess it was probably 4 years ago now. It wasn't last year because we really beat up on Tennessee last year, but it was the 2 years before that that we played them. And it was a close game, and we ended up winning a really tight, like a field goal game. And I will tell you, those Tennessee fans are hostile individuals, man. After the game, right after the game was over, we were sitting down. Of course, my two friends that I go with are Tennessee fans that we go to the Florida game every year. And it was this guy that was probably like 10 rows behind us up. And I don't know if he'd been drinking or he's just salty about losing. But he told me he was going to come down there and kick my ass. And, my friends, they're looking at me like, So I'm telling the guy, I'm like, come on down here, let's talk.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend or his wife is like, no, baby, don't go down there. And I'm like, come on down, man. Come on down so we can talk about that attitude that you got.
Oh, man.
And my friends are like, guy, I don't know if you want to do that. This guy lives to fight. This is what he does for a living. So it was pretty funny. And we actually talked about this today on Facebook. So when we went to Gainesville a couple years ago, my two friends went with me, and the Florida fans are like the most cordial fans that you'll ever meet.
Really?
Like they were like shaking their hands and shit, and I'm like, I'm looking at them like, why don't y'all give them that work that y'all gave me when I went to, that their fans gave me when I went to Neyland Stadium? And they were like, welcome to Gainesville, glad you came. I'm like, we're glad you came? No, forget your team, dude. It's crazy. And that's what I was telling them today. I was telling them, man, I wish my team fans would give them the animosity and hostility that I get when I go to Knoxville. So yeah, man, being in Florida, being in Tennessee, being a Florida fan is crazy. Like,
yeah.
They're one rival. It's changing a little bit. Alabama's kind of becoming a bigger rival to them than we are, but. Yeah. Alabama whoops their ass every year, so so that's not really a rivalry, to be honest.
And Tennessee's, they struggled the first two games of the year, and then they just destroyed Chattanooga, which some people were like, oh, well, since they struggled the first two games, they're probably going to struggle against Chattanooga. But they destroyed Chattanooga.
But let's be honest, me and you could get an Owens Corner team together and go beat Chattanooga. Come on now, it's UT Chat. We played UT Martin, which is a satellite of UT2. It's kind of like UT Chattanooga. We played UT Martin last week, which is not too far from here, actually. And, we destroyed them with 45-0, basically the same score. So, I mean, it was good, I guess, for Tennessee to get in the win column because, we play them next week, or they play us, in Gainesville. But, let's not get too happy about that win that they got. Sure. They were supposed to win the first two too, and they ended up losing. So it looked like we're picking up in the second quarter. Kentucky is actually driving the score here.
Yeah, they're trying to get some good yardage out of the first drive. Since you had missed that, I'll let you know. Basically, Florida drove down the field and Franks just threw the ball up. I don't know what he was doing.
He was being Franks. Felipe Franks is what he was doing.
He was getting pressured and then, got out of the pressure, launched the ball toward the end zone and threw a pick. And the guy ran it back probably 20 yards. But I was like, Franks, this is the first quarter.
Yeah, man.
Chill out.
He's one of those guys, you love him because he takes chances, but then when he takes chances at the wrong time.
Oh, my God. He just caught that.
Did he?
Oh, my God.
See, I bet you I'm going to have 20 text messages from my friends. Be like, oh, watch out. Y'all about to get beat by Kentucky again.
It looked like he had missed it. Smith to Wagner, Ahmad Wagner.
Wilson knocked it away. It looked like it.
Yeah, it looks like he knocked it away.
To the
He's
ground.
falling to the ground and catches it in his
that
arm.
was clean. That was a clean catch. Now, being a fan, I'm going to say it was incomplete. That was not. Let's review that. That was not a catch. Incomplete pass. It hit the ground.
Ahmad Wagner. I've never heard
That
of
was
this
nice.
dude, but that was a nasty catch.
See, we can't be giving up yards. It's not like they threw a 50-yard pass. They basically drove the ball down the field.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, Kentucky did beat us last year, so even though their starting quarterback is out, they lost a few good players to the draft. Yeah, that was a nice catch, man. That was a nice catch.
Oh my goodness.
You think that's gonna be a Sports Center top 10 catch right there?
That's a clean catch. As much as I don't want to say it, that was a clean catch. It was.
And he had a little face mask grab there too.
Holy smokes.
I'm hoping the refs can't see and they say it's an incomplete pass. Oh yeah, that hit the ground.
Oh, you can see it from that angle?
Nah, man, I'm just trying to willpower my team into getting a fourth down here. They're playing in Lexington, Kentucky, too.
Yeah, the referees might be swayed.
And you know what? I was considering going to this game, but believe it or not, these tickets prices for this game were the second highest on the schedule this year.
Oh wow!
Touchdown.
Probably because Kentucky beat them last year.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still Kentucky. It's not like it's the basketball team. It's Kentucky football.
True.
I mean, there's only two things that's popular with Kentucky. That's Kentucky basketball and Kentucky fried chicken. Outside of that, nobody cares about Kentucky. No disrespect to all my Kentucky natives or Kentucky friends. Looks like Kentucky's about to tie this game up.
Yeah.
I thought going into this game,
that was an ugly extra point.
It was. The only way I thought Kentucky had a chance to win was they have to get some big plays because that Florida defense is pretty nasty, especially that Florida front seven.
Yeah. Now they're always known for having like at least one like great DB.
Yeah. Oh sure. I mean, you seen it in the Tampa Bay game Thursday night. Tampa Bay and the Panthers when McCaffrey ran that sweep. Hargraves stopped and Hargraves went to Florida. He was a cornerback. He was a really really good cornerback too in Florida. So I think he had a couple injuries in the NFL, but he's a really good cornerback.
And the crazy thing about the cornerbacks that have came through there, they've not been big.
No.
But they have played phenomenal.
And they're fast.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, you obviously want your cornerback to have speed, but you really want them to have that closing speed and that ability to track the ball too.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Obviously, with running backs being as dynamic as they are now, you want them to have the ability to tackle in open space too.
Yep.
Because you got, your McCaffreys, your Ezekiel Elliott's, and, those guys in the NFL that pass catch.
Yep.
Even Kamar from Tennessee, really good pass catching back. So you definitely want your cornerbacks to be able to tackle, sure.
Now, for you talking about your background with mixed martial arts, how did you, when you started doing jiu-jitsu, was that the first thing you started in, or did you start with something else?
Well, honestly, I started punching people in the face when I was in kindergarten. That's kind of how I started. No, I was a really bad kid. Like I fought a lot as a kid from all the way up to high school, and people that know me will tell you that. Like it was just, and my dad was a martial artist too, so. As far as getting started in the sport, I actually started MMA first.
Okay.
So, I'd always wanted to fight in some aspect. And I, back in 2009, 2010 is when MMA really started to grow. Because really back in the day, 2000, 2005, there wasn't a lot of MMA around. There wasn't a lot of jiu-jitsu around. Even in this area, you may have had 2 blue belts, and within a 200-mile radius, right? And now you probably got 12, 13 black belts in Memphis alone. So
that's a lot.
But yeah, I started in MMA. I really just jumped in the gym one day, started training, and probably like a month later, I had my first fight. Man, I was green. I had no clue what was going on. I just wanted to punch stuff. So at the time, it wasn't a lot of sanctions around amateur MMA. It was like, I remember fighting a guy that was 30 pounds heavier than me, and we were both supposed to be 170. He weighed in at like 190, almost 200.
God.
And I remember it because I didn't know who the guy was. I'd never seen him before. Like, even we was sitting in a tunnel together, getting ready to walk out, and he was right beside me, and I didn't know who he was. And he walked out, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not fighting right now, because I thought the guy was bigger. And even my friends and family that came to the fight was like, I thought he was up next. And then they called my name, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I got out there, I was like, I guess the guy didn't make weight. But he was a big, he was a short guy, but he was kind of stocky, man. And this was my second fight, and I really commenced to dragging his ass around that cage for 3 rounds. But it was a really good fight, though.
Ooh, good ball.
Long pass from, is that Jeffries? Who we got there? Look like Jeffries.
Now, I think his big problem is just his inconsistency.
Yeah, man.
He's a good quarterback. He's just inconsistent.
He's one of those. You know who he reminds me of a lot is Brett Favre. He's a gunslinger, and he's gonna take risk, and he's a high risk, high reward type of guy.
Yeah.
So a lot of Florida fans. That was a forward pass. Oh, they calling it a fumble. Was it an open palm there? What do you think?
Just as we're talking about Franks.
Taking chances.
Launches the ball down the field for like a 30-yard play and then fumbles it.
High risk, high reward. That is what we've lived with for 3 years with Felipe Franks. And a lot of our fans are calling for the backup. Been calling for the backup since last year, but
who's the backup?
I forgot his name. He's number 5. I think he may be a sophomore. They may have redshirted him last year, but he got in last week, played decently.
Yeah, Florida.
But that's a fumble. He's not he's more athletic than Felipe. He's not as big as Felipe Franks though.
Yeah, Felipe's big. Isn't he like 6'7"?
He's like 6'5". He's a big guy, man. He's a really big guy, and he's really vocal.
Yeah.
I don't see him playing on the next level, but if he can turn down the turnovers, he can be a really good college quarterback.
For sure.
But these types of things right here is what cost you championships. Can Florida really afford to lose a game to Kentucky and still be in playoff contention?
Absolutely not.
Especially when they got LSU on the schedule. I believe they have Auburn on the schedule as well.
I think if Georgia loses one game, let's say Georgia loses to Auburn, and then Auburn loses 2 games. Let's say Auburn loses to LSU and Alabama or something like that. So that would give Georgia 1 loss. And if Florida, if they could run the table in the East, and let's just say they lost a close one to Georgia, then you would have to hope that Georgia loses 1 more game, because that the tiebreaker is going to go to Florida. Go to Georgia if Florida loses to Georgia. But
right.
Okay, so let's say Florida loses to Kentucky and then beats Georgia. So Florida's 1 loss and Georgia's 1 loss. Tiebreaker will go to Florida. If Florida could somehow pull off a win in the SEC championship by whoever, whether it be LSU, Alabama, whoever, that would be very interesting. Florida in the playoff you know, right now they're number 9. You know, I don't think most people have Florida in their.
No.
Everybody's writing Florida off,
right?
But
As though they
Georgia's,
should. I mean, you got Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, you got LSU. You got Alabama, and then you may have Florida. But you know, if they don't beat Kentucky, then here's the thing: if they lose to Kentucky, even if they beat Georgia, if Kentucky is their only loss and they win the SEC championship, then they'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if they have 2 losses, I don't think any. I mean, in previous years, maybe the SEC champion maybe get in there, but if Alabama only has 1 loss, or if LSU only has 1 loss, and that loss is to Florida, then I think that LSU or Alabama will still get into the playoffs.
I mean, it's so that right now they have Alabama. A lot of people that have Alabama going undefeated until the SEC championship, and then losing to Georgia. Now you have 1 loss, Alabama, and undefeated Georgia, or 1 loss Georgia, whatever they have Georgia doing. Let's say undefeated Georgia.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's beating Georgia in the East.
Yeah, so that'll give a lot of people 2 SEC teams, which everybody does not want to see again, because SEC's the only conference that's done it so far.
Right, but wouldn't you say it's deserving though?
I mean, the whole point was to put the 4
best teams. So if it's 4 SEC teams that's better, then I think they should be in the playoffs. I mean, the rest of the country, that probably never happened. But
no.
I mean, even when they say they want the 4 best teams, I don't think they meant that. Because you don't make money with the 4 best teams. You make money with having the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the LA, the big schools. I mean, even when USC is good, having those types of teams in the playoffs, that's how you make money. If anybody tells you it's about winning, it's not.
No.
It's about that bottom line. So,
that was the
backup. Yeah. But we actually got a 3rd quarterback in that played pretty well last week too. So, but Felipe Franks beat him out in the offseason. So
the backup quarterback was actually highly recruited by Alabama.
Right. Yep.
And I was actually really upset when CJ committed to Florida, because
CJ's good, man.
Yeah, I watched his tape when he was in high school, and I was like, I hope he goes to Bama. I think he had like Alabama and somebody else in his top, and then he ended up going to Florida, and I was like, dang, they got a good one, and he's turned out really good.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be a first to low 2nd round draft pick for sure. It looks like Florida's starting to rush 3 and play coverage, and that's why it looked like the quarterback is getting outside of the pocket. I think this is like the 3rd play in this drive that he ran outside. I think we're gonna have to trust our man-to-man defense and send a blitz, especially maybe send a safety or corner.
Now they were talking about how mobile Kentucky's quarterback is.
Well, was it this one or was it their quarterback?
It was
the starting
this guy.
quarterback.
Well, they were saying that he is known for his mobility. This guy,
but he's
able to do it.
Right, and then they just scored again right here. Oh, no.
I think
was the first down?
Yeah, he might have got that first. Oh, that ref is nope, right here.
But, I mean, let's face it. They at the half-yard line with 4 downs. They definitely going to get a touchdown here. Look at that. Look at that hole, man.
Man, how bad does Kentucky miss freaking Snead? Wasn't it? Not is it the running back last year? Snell,
Yeah,
Benny Snell.
That guy ran up and down the field on Florida last year.
Oh, Florida. Oh, nope.
Yeah, man, we got a penalty. Still going to be first down, though.
There was a play earlier today in the Alabama game where they got was it a touchdown? I think they either got a first down or a touchdown, and the ref threw a flag for holding like way after, like the play was over, and then he threw the flag for holding, and I was like,
was it a hold?
Yeah, it was a clean hold.
He's probably just debating in his mind whether he wanted to throw the flag or not.
flags in the red zone, man.
Yeah, man.
If I'm a coach, I'm heated.
If I was Kentucky, I'd go under center and do a quarterback. They look like they're in the shotgun.
And he's a big guy.
Yeah. I don't understand why they're doing it. They may still run it though with the quarterback.
Yeah.
No,
give him some momentum or something from shotgun.
See, that's what I don't understand. Like, why not get a quarterback? He must not be used to playing under center, because
maybe
you literally 5 inches from the red zone and you doing shotgun.
Yeah.
I would right now I would go fast, line up and just punch it in.
Yeah.
Instead of giving the Florida defense time
he could
to
literally
set up.
just take the ball and just reach over.
that's like jump over the pile. That's what you got to do. Look, I would be surprised if they don't go in the center this time.
And shotgun.
Shotgun.
He's on the center. Touchdown.
Imagine that.
Touchdown, Kentucky. All right, so we got 13-7. Second quarter.
I'm trying to find somewhere in this game where they cheating. That way I'll have something to point to if we lose.
I mean, granted, it is in Kentucky.
Yeah, but
so they got home field advantage.
It's in Kentucky, but they also play in Kentucky. But again, they did beat us last year, and they have a really good coach. So
yeah,
the score doesn't surprise me. What surprised me is how bad our defense is playing. But again, they wouldn't have to do that if we didn't have turn over the ball twice already, right? I want to get him in a field goal kicking. Yeah. Let's make this a field goal game.
Their extra points look awful.
You think they trust him to kick a field goal?
Probably not.
Or probably within 30 yards maybe. But
Florida just
those extra
play
points
smart.
look nasty.
If Florida just play smart and make them kick,
right?
They ain't scoring nothing.
Because again, they're driving, right? They're not. It's not like they're getting big plays. They're really running the ball down defense, right down the middle of the defense of Florida. So. And that's supposed to be our Achilles heel is our defense, and it's not holding up right now.
One thing I think that Alabama is just jinxed with their kicking. Like today, their kicker, he missed an extra point, and he missed a short field goal. And Alabama, they put up a stat since 2007, so since Saban has been there, they've missed 98 field goals. That's the most in all of college football.
But when you think about it, though, at the end of the day, how many games do Alabama play where it's within a field goal?
Very few.
If I was Nick Saban, getting a kicker would probably be last thing on my list. Right? Let me get these 220-pound safeties.
Yeah.
Let me pull them out of Texas and Florida and California, and then I'll get the science major to kick field goals. I mean, he's got a winning system, though, right?
They're probably got some tree outs for kickers.
You know what? That's what
really
2 years ago. That's what Florida did. Our kicker was so bad they actually had open tryouts for kicking, and a random kid won the kicking job, and he was actually pretty decent.
Oh snap!
Yeah, man, because obviously with us we wasn't very good, so we were definitely in field goal games. So we kind of needed a good field goal kicker. But they had open tryouts, and he won. I think he was like an IT major or something.
Did you see that chick that's trying to be in the NFL?
Yeah, I seen that.
I think she's on the the women's national soccer team. But
is she a kicker?
I mean, she's just on the soccer team.
Right.
I don't think she's like a goalie or anything like that. But.
I don't think we're there yet, though. I mean, not that I don't think women could play football. I just don't think they're there yet.
Well, you also have to think about it like this. If you kick the ball and it's short, you got to go tackle it.
Oh, man, I'm running her over. You wanted to be out here. We finna play some football. But that's what you should do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's all about equality. So you kick that field goal and you miss. I'm coming after you like I would come after anybody else, right?
Yeah, people say, equal rights and equal fights.
Yeah, man. I be trying to take her head off. But But I think we got to get some. I'm not even sure they have like women assistant coaches yet.
Not in the NFL. Not in the NFL.
So I think we got to definitely break down those barriers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Actually, I think there is one assistant. I think I saw something about that.
In the NFL, there is?
Yeah. I think so. I'm not 100% positive about it.
I know the NBA they made some big strides in that, so which is pretty cool. They finally got rid of that annoying argument that women can't be in men's locker rooms. Are you serious right now? That's the best argument you got?
Yeah. There was one, like, it got pretty bad. It was a reporter was in the men's locker room asking questions and stuff like that, and something happened. I forgot what happened, but it was a big fiasco. It was on Twitter, I think, but I was like, man, like, what are y'all gonna do? Like,
it's funny because
forever.
You hear a bunch of athletes complain about it, like, man, I feel uncomfortable with women in the men's locker room, but yet you leave and go to the strip club and pay $10,000 for strippers. You don't feel uncomfortable then, but you feel uncomfortable with women in the locker room,
paying
which is crazy.
Scholarships.
Right, exactly, which is crazy, but.
The best thing about the equality stuff is just, I guess, this time frame. Like, we're in that time period to where we're watching all this unfold, especially with like the Me Too movements and stuff like that. And it's like, man, how far are we gonna go?
Right. But you have to think. Here's how I look at it. So, as an African American, when we were, I say we like I was born back then, but when they were in the fight for equal rights and amendment and things like that, like they put things in place like affirmative action and things like that had to force companies to bring in equality. So I look at it in that same aspect. You kind of have to force the issue because in a lot of ways it is uncomfortable for people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People are so used to seeing men on the sideline and men in locker rooms that to see a woman there and giving you direction and drawing up plays. And a leader of men, it's uncomfortable for a lot of men. And I think we had this conversation somewhere, and we were talking about how crazy it is that men still feel uncomfortable. And I'm not even talking about sports. I'm talking about in the workplace in general, how men are uncomfortable with women as their leaders, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what if your mom heard that? You wasn't uncomfortable with your mom. Crazy. She was leading you.
Yeah.
But you uncomfortable now. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Looks like Florida's trying to get the running backs involved in the game.
Yeah. We're missing Tony, man. Tony he's that, like, you remember Percy Harvin? That's how Tony is, man. He's an all-purpose guy. He's a receiver. He plays running back, so he does a lot of different things. He's out. He got hurt last week, so.
How long is he out for?
I'm not sure. I don't even know if if his injury was like maybe it's week to week or something.
Oh, okay.
I just know he's not playing in tonight's game, and that's big.
Man, Florida, like with their cornerbacks now, is how they used to be with their running backs. Like they had just carbon copies of like Jeff Demps.
Yeah, man. But they still got some good running backs, and sometimes I think that hurts you. Because you're trying to feed three running backs, equally.
Yeah.
And you're trying to keep them at Florida, so you don't want them to transfer, right?
Yeah. Somehow Georgia's doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know whose pockets it's coming out of, but Georgia is doing it.
They are. Georgia they keep reloading at the running back position.
They've got I think 3 5-star running backs right now, and they have one
nice pass by Franks.
Great pass, good move.
Grimes. It seems like Grimes been playing since I was 12, man.
Well, he started at Ohio State.
Yeah, he did. And then transferred. But I feel like he's been in college. He should probably have like 17 doctorate degrees by now. That guy's been playing a lot. You know what? He's probably got kids that's getting ready to play for Florida. He's been there so long, but he's a good player, man. He's solid. Nice.
My favorite thing is, so I have a Twitter for like my music stuff, and then also for just myself, and I use that as sports. And man, it is hilarious just watching the fact that people have the opportunity to say whatever they want to on social media.
That's what's beautiful about it, man. You no longer have to say something to people's faces. Like, I can log on my phone right now and talk shit about somebody in Japan. Right? Imagine how crazy that is.
That is crazy.
You used to have to do it in the lunchroom, right? Or, after school is over. Hey, man, meet me in the parking lot. We're going to talk. Ooh, Franks didn't turn over the ball.
What are you doing?
Why is he running backwards?
God.
Why was it
touchdown?
Way. Touchdown Gators.
Felipe Franks.
This is after he ran backwards toward the other end zone. I think he forgot which end zone it was his.
He was moving around in the pocket.
There's a flag down. Is that holding?
That's holding.
Oh, man. That sucks.
Felipe was in the pocket, comfortable, moved up, turned
around, ran the other way.
And then darted for the
I think he had a moment. He was like,
so he's
shit,
looking
wrong
around,
way.
Comfortable in the pocket, pump fakes, goes left, circles back around, and then darts for the end zone.
And almost got a touchdown if his lineman wasn't holding. Those are the things that cost you the game right there, man. That and his little sister's shirt he got on. I don't understand why people think that that's intimidating to have a midriff shirt on.
Back in the day, that was the move.
Yeah, but
that was the move.
Yeah, but you didn't have the guy that,
Yeah, it was like Herschel Walker.
Yeah, it was, you had the running backs just cut first person off the bus, right, to intimidate the other team. But if they sending that guy out, I bet he got chips and some more stuff in his hand. He's like, this ain't Freddy's. Why are we here?
Oh, speaking about eating bad, so I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about what Tony Ferguson eats, and he was just they were asking Eddie Bravo what does Tony eat, and he would never give a straight answer, but sometimes he said that he would eat just kind of garbage or like whatever he wanted to eat and stuff like that. Do you have any kind of like regiments that you like to stick to? Like, I guess I don't know if you have like in season or like just before a fight or something like that, weeks out.
Yeah, usually when I'm getting ready for a tournament or a fight, I usually and I'm not a big like sweets or like sugars or sodas and things like that.
Weakness.
I don't do that a lot. Like, I do have a Pepsi right here. Like, this is my and it's funny that you mentioned that because it's the first one I've had in months, and my head was hurting driving over here drinking that Pepsi. And I was like, this is why I don't drink sodas. But I usually don't drink sodas or anything like that. I mean, but usually when I'm getting ready for a tournament or a fight, like I'll stick to like good protein and
that's good ball.
Saturated fats and things like that, and a ton of water because we cut a lot of weight. Sometimes it depends on the tournament. Yeah. So it makes it, and for me, it's not hard for me to cut weight anyway because I sweat a lot. So, but the more water you drink, especially the closer it gets to your fight, like I'll start drinking like distilled water, less salts, and starting less so your body won't hold the water. So when you go to the sauna or the where did we go? We went to the sauna. We got in the hot tub and we did a steam room, which is like the first time I got in the steam room was last year for the World Masters in Vegas, and I've never gotten in one before. And when I tell you I started to call and get a power of attorney going, sitting in there, I about died, dude. Like, I was sitting in there because at the time it was me and my girlfriend, which she went with me, so she was upstairs. And immediately when I got to the hotel, I was like, I got to get down because I was fighting the next day. I was like, I got to get down here and cut weight. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the steam room. And man, I got in there and I didn't realize like you can't breathe in a steam room, so I had to the towel over my face and dude, I was about to die. But the one thing I realized is that, at least at that one, it wasn't an automatic steam room. So I turned it on, but you're supposed to turn it off.
Yeah.
So the whole time I was sitting in there, steam is just coming out. And it was so hot, like I couldn't sit in there more than a couple minutes at a time. And that's not, like, I'm usually good in a sauna. So I went upstairs and I weighed, and I was like, I still got 4 more pounds to lose. So I went, and I had cut it off before I left. So I went back down there, and then I went in there, and it was without turning the steam on, but it still had like residual steam and stuff. So, and I started just sweating. I was like, oh, well, that's the secret. You don't sit in there with the steam going the whole time. Like, you cut the steam off, and then you start sweating. So we did one this year at a different hotel, and it was an automatic one. And, man, I didn't have to cut a lot of weight because I was on weight when I got there, but I had a couple teammates that needed to cut weight. So I wanted to, be supportive. So I'm down there. And first of all, it costs $10 to sit in there. So I'm like, I know somebody gonna give me my $10 back. Right? So I'm sitting in there, and look, when I tell you that they were about to die, like, I'm feeling good. Like, I felt as good at this tournament that I have ever felt. And like, I knew, like, I'm drinking, right, because I don't want to cut too much weight and be way underweight for my fight, but I also want to support them. But, man, they were in there dying. I mean, literally just couldn't handle it. So I'd say the water intake is important. But if you stay, not that you have to eat clean like all the time, but I try to maintain some type of healthy habits. When I'm even in the off season, so I don't get too bad out of shape or anything, like, because it makes it easier, right? You less miserable and aggressive when it comes to that. So, but it's some people just don't have that commitment, though. Like, they don't have that discipline to cut weight. So they get to these tournaments or these fights, and then they got 15 pounds to lose. And let me tell you, my first fight, I had to cut 13 pounds after work and before weigh-in. So I get off at 3:30. I go to the sauna, and weigh-ins are at 7. So I had to go, and I've never cut weight before. Nobody told me how or what I needed to do. So I'm just in there like dying, literally dying, man. So it's important to do it the right way. Else you're gonna feel terrible during the fight.
Yeah,
But Tony Ferguson is a madman anyway, man.
He is.
He's a madman, but he is a talented fighter
for sure. And I've seen just, like, I think one of his fights for sure, and that fight he just doesn't run out of energy.
And he picks people apart, man. I remember him on The Ultimate Fighter, and I remember saying to myself, there's only a couple fighters that I've said to myself on The Ultimate Fighter that they are going to be a champion one day. One of them was Tony Ferguson. The other one was T.J. Dillashaw. I remember watching T.J. and he didn't win. T.J. Dillashaw lost an Ultimate Fighter, but I remember watching him. Of course, he was with Uriah Faber and them at the time, Alpha Male. But I remember watching him fight. Like, he was so technical, and you could tell, like, he had so much talent. And I remember sitting there watching him like, that dude's going to be a superstar one day. I didn't know he was going to be juicing, but I knew he was going to be a superstar. So he's definitely lived up to my expectations, that's for sure.
When I was watching The Ultimate Fighter, like, I haven't seen it in a long time. I went through a stint of, I think I was a junior in high school. And from my junior year to probably, I think till I was about like 21, I watched a lot of UFC. And then I just kind of stopped. But let's see, who was in The Ultimate Fighter? What's his name? CB Dollaway. You know who that is? I watched him, and I thought he was going to be amazing. But he ended up, I think he lost in the finals. And then he ended up getting a UFC contract, but he didn't do too well. Like, he had a very inconsistent career in the UFC. But I thought he was going to be, like, phenomenal. Like, I felt the way you did about T.J. Dillashaw.
Right. I think a lot of it, too, though. Wow. He wasn't even close on that.
Florida's kicking a field goal, 4th and 2, and completely wide right.
Shanked it. he shanked it. Hadn't been more than a 30, 32, 35-yard field goal.
Oh, my
That is terrible.
goodness. Looking like Alabama right there.
We cannot leave points on the board, man.
Especially, they're down. Yeah, they're down 7 right now.
Yeah, we can't leave points on the board.
Right before halftime.
Honestly, it was 4th and 2. I may have thought about going for it on that.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially when you're playing your rival like that.
Yeah, and on the road, you know, you got to do something to silence the crowd because we've turned the ball over twice now and they've scored twice. So that's tough.
Did you see that speech that Tim Tebow had when he was talking about players getting paid and whatnot?
I watched a little bit. Are you talking about on First Take?
I don't know if it was on First Take or not, but I just saw he was just
I think it was
Tim
on
Tebow
First
real
Take.
passionate about it.
It was First Take. He was talking about, I think he was talking about, when I was in school, I didn't get paid and my jersey was third behind LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. And, I was just there for my teammates. And, I'm a Gator and I love the Gators, but shut the hell up, let these players get paid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the NCAA, the colleges are making billions of dollars off the backs of these players. Off the backs of these players. And you know what they get? Okay, they get a scholarship, which is great. And that's, $100,000 right there, depending on what school you go to. But how much do they make off of the players? The star players especially. I mean, the average player is probably not going to, attract as much attention, but, millions.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars off of these star players, and they get a scholarship. I mean, places like Alabama and Clemson, they have chartered jets and things like that, which is nice.
Nick Saban, when he goes to see certain players on recruiting visits, he has his own helicopter.
Yeah.
That he flies to that player's like football field or whatever, and will land on the field.
That's what I would do if I was a coach and I had a helicopter. Dude, I would fly to their house and land on top of it, and I would come down the chimney like Santa Claus, right? And I have a bag of benefits that I'm not supposed to give them. I have a bag of benefits, and I'll put it up under their mom's plant, and I'd be like, yeah, you don't know where these came from. I have car keys and everything else.
Oh, man.
Well, man, the Florida defense is really giving up some yards on the ground to Kentucky. We have to do something to take the air out of the stadium, man. That's you got 12 players, or you got 11 players, and then the 12th, with the fans.
Yeah. This is the year of the backup quarterback, because USC right now is on their backup quarterback. Stanford's on their backup quarterback.
Yep.
UK is on their backup quarterback.
And Felipe is playing like a backup quarterback. So you're right. This is the year of the backup quarterback.
God forbid anything happens to Tua, but
who is y'all's backup quarterback?
So we've got some interesting backup quarterbacks. The first backup quarterback, he's a redshirted junior. His name is he's a redshirted sophomore, and Mac Jones is his name. So him and Tua came in at the same time.
Okay.
He's actually, you ever heard of Bowles High School in Jacksonville, Florida?
Yes.
He went to Bowles.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mac Jones is the actual backup, the second string. And then the third string apparently is Talia, which is Tua's younger brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the fourth string is, God, what is his name?
Man, how many backup quarterbacks do you need?
Yeah, right. The fourth string is actually, his name is Paul Tyson. It's Paul Bear Bryant's great-grandson.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll get all the big names in Alabama.
Yeah. So we've got the starting quarterback's little brother and Paul Bear Bryant's great-grandson.
And then last year, y'all had a Heisman Trophy winning back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Must be nice.
Jalen is doing phenomenal.
Man, he's gonna be in the Heisman talks again. And you know what would be cool if Oklahoma ended up playing Kentucky in the college football playoff, or not Kentucky, Alabama.
I
college
hope they
football
don't.
playoff.
I hope they don't,
dude. He's good. He just needs the right offense around him.
Yeah.
He's good. I don't know if he'll be a good NFL quarterback, but he for sure is a solid.
He's put up better numbers than Kyler or Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield. He's put up better numbers than both of them already.
Right.
So that's crazy, first of all.
It is. It really is, considering how well they played at Oklahoma.
They were showing a highlight earlier where he just ran in like a 20 or 30-yard touchdown. So he's scoring himself, and then he's also passing for a lot. So
yeah, man, that's something. That's just like when and it's in Oklahoma, but when Oklahoma City had Harden, Westbrook, and Durant on the team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy to have 3 MVPs on the team and
Yeah.
still didn't win a championship.
I think they were just too young.
They were. They all
didn't
were.
understand
Yeah,
what they
they
were
were.
doing.
They were. But if you have all them 3 like now,
Yeah.
man, it's over.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have Harden coming off of the bench anymore, though,
No.
obviously. So I don't know how that would work. But of course, I'm a Houston Rockets fan too. So
Oh, are you really?
yeah, man,
Wow.
lifelong since Akeem the Dream. That used to, dude. I remember when I was in middle school, like I would be at the park working on that Dream Shake, and that's to this day that's my go-to move when I'm playing basketball. I get on the baseline, do that Dream Shake fade away.
That's crazy.
Yep. So I'm pretty excited that we got rid of Chris Paul and picked up Russell Westbrook.
Paul, I've heard that Chris Paul is a cancer.
I do not like Chris Paul, man. I didn't like it when they grabbed him, and I didn't like they was paying him so much money either. Good
So
gracious.
I'm a Clippers fan, and I liked him when he was playing for the Clippers, but at the same time, I didn't. I was just like, dude, what is going on? Just watching them play, I was just like, what is going on right now?
Right. Yeah, man, Chris Paul, he's obviously a Hall of Famer, but being a point guard, not all point guards are like this, but you develop this attitude like this is my team.
Yeah.
And in some ways you should have that attitude, right? The ball's in your hand almost on every possession, but Chris Paul done took it to a whole nother level. He's like, it's not just my team, this is my gym. This is my stadium.
This is my ball.
This is my United States of America. I'm the president now. Like he just has we went to a game last year when the Grizzlies played the Rockets, and you could just tell, man, he just has this aura about him. Like it's hard for Chris Paul is an acquired taste. Not that I know Chris Paul personally.
You kind of feel like it, though.
Yeah, besides the State Farm commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you just feel his aura, like, people just can't get along with him.
Yeah.
You ever met somebody like that where they're an acquired taste?
Oh, yeah.
Like
most
people don't get along with them.
Yeah.
So Chris Paul is that type. Oh, we need a sack right here. Can I get an
Smart
intentional
ball.
ground? Is it though? I didn't see a Kentucky player around.
I think he got it past that.
Fourth down anyway.
Past the line of scrimmage. Oh, he wasn't even looking.
Okay. Them the type of plays that I want to see is where the quarterback's not looking when Kentucky hikes the ball. 18 seconds. I guess we're going to take a knee and go into the locker room. It's a good game so far, though.
Yeah, actually.
I wonder what the line was on this game. Florida couldn't be no more than a 4 or 5 point favorite, especially with Kentucky being at home.
I think they'll just take the knee right here.
Yeah, they should.
Especially
There's not 11 seconds. You ain't got time to do anything but turn the ball over.
you don't
again.
want time for Felipe to
Throw another to run backwards.
Yeah. You know what we might do? Might just break this segment and then watch the fight.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I looked at the card on the fight though, and man, outside of the main and maybe the co-main event, fight card is kind of sketchy.
Okay. So yeah, we could. So what
No,
we're
we
probably going to
definitely
do
watch the
is this is about halftime. Well, it is halftime. Florida's taking
As
a knee
long as
right
we don't
now.
fumble the ball.
Good job, Felipe.
He was able to take a knee without turning it over.
Yeah. So we're just going to take a break right here, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to come back later, and there's some UFC fights on, and Tyson Fury's fighting tonight.
Yeah, he fights they fight after UFC fight.
Oh, okay.
It's all on. I think it's all on. Is this ESPN? I thought it was on ESPN.
I've got the Hulu with like all the different.
It may be on,
and I also
Plus.
have ESPN Plus. So
yeah, I thought the main card was on ESPN. Maybe I was wrong because obviously the game is on here, so it probably is on ESPN Plus. So.
All right, so yeah, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we will have the fights, and we will be talking about that. So, all right, we are back.
Yeah.
Right now, we are watching the UFC fight. We'll probably switch back and forth to that Florida game because that's getting pretty wild. If you're watching the game, Felipe Franks got hurt, and the backup came in. And he was doing well.
Yeah, he drove him downfield for a touchdown on his first drive, which is pretty impressive. But Trask is he's been around the block a while. He actually got hurt a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not like this is new for him. So, but he looked pretty good on his first drive.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. Because earlier I was saying you're the backup, and sure enough, their backup's coming in and he's doing pretty well. Yeah,
it looks like he's driving them downfield again. He just got about a 15-yard strike to one of his receivers. So he's looking well. I mean, you never want to see somebody get hurt, but it's that old adage is next man up. So I'm glad to see that he came in and he's playing well. So on to the fights here. It looks like we're up to the co-main event. Former light heavyweight champion Glover Teixeira is back in the cage to take on Nikita, I believe is what his name is.
Yeah.
He actually just came off a big win over in St. Peru, who's actually from Knoxville. Now that we're talking about the SEC, I know he's training in Knoxville, and he actually went to UT. And played football, but I'm not sure if he's still training out there. But that's a quality win for him. I think they're actually up at 1-1 because I think OSP actually beat him in their first standoff.
Oh, okay.
But this would be a pretty eventful co-main event. You got basically, even though this guy is, he's had a lot of pro fights. He's an up-and-coming light heavyweight, and obviously with Glover, he's been around a long, long time. So this is one of those, fights where we're going to see if the quote-unquote new school takes over and kind of put the old dog out the pasture.
Yeah, Teixeira's been in the game for a minute.
Yeah, and he actually has a pretty good jiu-jitsu school in Cincinnati. You don't hear people, not Cincinnati, Connecticut. You don't hear people talking about it that often, but because it's not, you don't have a lot of mixed martial artists coming from that area. But he has a pretty big school up there. His jiu-jitsu is phenomenal for a big guy.
Now, do you think that there's something about maybe jiu-jitsu or a specific martial art that you feel like capitalizes over other things? Because, sometimes people, they'll come in and like their specialty will be boxing, or their specialty will be kickboxing, or, something that doesn't involve, groundwork. And you'll visually see them suffer because they can't keep up with somebody on the ground. But it seems like people who have jiu-jitsu or judo or something like that, they tend to, be okay otherwise. So do you think there's anything that, I guess, helps specifically?
Yeah, honestly, I think what I see being most successful in MMA, if I had to choose, would actually be wrestling. People who come in with a good wrestling base tend to do well in MMA fights because they already have the cardio. They already built for that, that real grind, weight cutting and things like that. So you'll see a lot of wrestlers that really do well in MMA. Jiu-jitsu, yeah, I mean, you obviously have to have a pretty good jiu-jitsu game, especially at this high level of UFC to be successful. But I feel like if you had a high level career in wrestling, then you would probably be decent in MMA. So I think wrestling is really a good base for MMA.
Teixeira's cut.
Yeah, already them.
It's early.
Those elbows, but he's dominating. You see, a lot of people like to work from half guard in MMA fights because it's a really good control position. Mm-hmm. Looks like Teixeira's trying to get that knee out and surf the mount. Looks like he's got his hooks in. Yep, got his hooks in. He's on the back. Looks like he's a little high. He's probably going to flatten him out here. There it is. Flatten him out, probably posture up and throw some strikes to get to his neck right here. So I think Teixeira needs to probably set his butt back a little bit so he doesn't get shaken off. Yeah. See how he's high up? There it is. Yeah. He flattened him out.
Well, so hopefully he's not too top heavy.
Yeah, the guy, he's probably going to turn the guy over. The guy, there it is. He'll go to his side there. See where his foot positioned and he pushed his knee out? That's a really tough position to get out of.
He's just throwing those hammer fists right to his ears.
You can see Teixeira, man, his jiu-jitsu game is crazy for a big guy. Good hand control right here. It's a good way to start shaking him off and turning in the guard. He's probably going to get out of here.
Nikita's
right here. There it is.
There he goes.
Nice. Teixeira's going to have to got his arm trapped. Nice. He got him out. Oh, he's in mount. Teixeira's mounted right now.
They're putting in a lot of work right now. This is a lot of movement.
It is, especially with big guys.
They're not sitting still. There's not much thinking going on here. They're reacting.
Oh, Teixeira gave up his back, but here we are. We're wrestling against the cage. It's like he's going to grab the foot and pull the foot out right here and turn him. He looks like he's seeking in a rear naked choke from the side. Oh, he's got it. He's going to try to fight the hands here. It's deep.
It's real
deep, but he's fighting the hands right here. This is a good position for Teixeira for this choke.
He's cranking his
neck. Now he's going to surf in the mount here. Yeah. He's going to surf in the mount. He really needs to control that arm right there. Oh, he's out now. He's going to turn into his guard. There we go. Man, there's some really good jiu-jitsu going on here.
It's got him up against the cage trying to control that.
Ooh, nice elbow. Man, I'm surprised that he was able to survive on the ground. Yeah. That actually surprises me because Glover has really good jiu-jitsu. Good wrestling as well. Nice body kick.
Ooh, did he tag him?
I think he just got him off balance there. You see Teixeira leading with that up elbow.
Yeah. Nikita's lunging on his punches.
Yeah. But you can kind of see the striking, the speed difference in the striking here. For every one Teixeira throws, he's having to eat 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Florida's down to the 8-yard line. Actually, no, they just punted. Kentucky has the ball. They're driving. Just got a first down there.
Well, that was the end of round 1. What you think?
I honestly think that that's a really tough round to call. It could go either way, but I think maybe Teixeira got it because he was doing more damage when he was on his back. But that's a really, really, really close round.
All right, so since that was the end of round 1, we are flipping back to the Florida-Kentucky game, and Marcus has it on his phone, so we've been looking back and forth, but this is an intriguing game.
Unfortunately, it is an intriguing game.
So Florida is down 16-21 to Kentucky. It's fourth quarter, 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Kentucky is driving down the field.
You have to wonder how, if Florida's able to hold them here, how much work has Trask had in 2-minute situations? Can he run the offense in a 2-minute situation, or we still have 3 timeouts left, so if we can hold them, being down by 4, we obviously need a touchdown to win.
They keep showing the center for Kentucky. His name is something Stenberg, and he's from Madison, Alabama. There's a few schools in Madison area. I think there's Bob Jones and Madison Academy and one other school, I believe. But that area is actually it's gotten a lot better at football. So Bob Jones overtook Hoover at one point as like the biggest school in Alabama, and then I think Hoover has got the crown back, I guess, as far as most amount of students. But Bob Jones used to be awful at football, but they've gotten really good. Oh, wow.
Nice. Interception by you. Hey, can we get a targeting? So back to your point, I think they're talking about this center because he is absolutely dominating the line of scrimmage from a Florida defensive front who are known to get to the quarterback and get to him fast. He is going to be something. We got a flag on the play. See what we have here. Pass interference, maybe.
It's going to negate the.
Or is it a targeting after the play, leading with the helmet? Unsportsmanlike on Florida, 31.
Mullen is
going to cost us 15 yards. Those are things you cannot do in games like this. This is what costs teams games and what ultimately costs them championships.
You know what I don't like to see on a sideline is what was just happening. Like, Mullen is yelling at his player, and the player is just, like, blowing him off as, like, I don't care anything what you have to say. I hate to see that because that means that kid, most of these guys are usually 23 and under, but he is just completely blowing off his coach. That means that he probably doesn't respect the coach.
Yeah, that's something you definitely don't want to see from your team, right?
And Trask is
nice.
Oh.
Great. We got some flags on the field. Pass interference. Looks like on Kentucky. It looked like good defense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we can slow it down. Maybe he was grabbing his arm or tugging on the jersey, but it looked like good, solid defense. Oh, yep. He's hooking his arm. Hey, that is actually something that they actually teach football players, right? If you can get away with it, you underhook their arm.
Yeah.
That way they can't get two arms on the ball.
Yeah.
And that's why, these one-handed catches have become so important and making highlights is because of that hook there.
And also at the same time, so if you got your arm hooked, it's kind of hard to tell who's really hooking who.
Yeah.
So,
but I'd say 9 times out of 10, the defensive player is going to get the pass interference on that, right?
Yeah, they're going to give it to the offensive guy.
I like that play action fake, but we have to get rid of the ball.
His balls look. That was about to sound really weird.
How does his balls look? Let's.
When he is throwing the football, it looks really good. But
so his balls look good. I'd have to agree. The balls definitely look good for Florida.
Oh man, but they look like it's going in slow motion. It looks like he's lobbing.
Yeah, it does. But that. I don't know if that's a good thing, right? It gives
Yeah, it looks like there's no velocity behind.
Yeah, you need to put some heat on some of those. I'm wondering why they keep running these plays. Oh, that's a helmet hit.
Oh, snap.
I don't like when they call this. The quarterback is going down and you're trying to make a tackle, and as he's going down, your helmet makes contact with their helmet.
What else are you supposed to do?
I don't like those. I understand them. You have to protect the player, but you also you can't, give up how football is played, right? How am I supposed to control myself when He's at one level when I'm launching and at another level when I hit him.
They called it targeting too.
Yeah, that's gonna probably stand, and because that was helmet to helmet. But I don't agree with the call. I mean, what is the guy supposed to do, right?
Stoops is confused.
See, watch this. Oh, yeah, that was definitely targeted. I take back everything I said. It was definitely helmet to helmet.
Oh, man.
You know what? Ultimately, they're trying to keep that from happening, them leading with their helmet, right? Yeah. They're trying to get them to the crown of the helmet. They're trying to get them to have their head up, face mask square, and to hit. But that's a big, big penalty right there. Not only are you going to lose your defensive player, but you're also going to give Florida 15 yards, right? 15 more yards. So that's 2 penalties on this drive that's cost Kentucky 30 total yards. So even if the targeting doesn't stand, it's still going to be a personal foul. So it's still going to be 15 yards. But, maybe they'll be able to keep their player.
Dang, that sucks. So for the rest of this half,
I think,
and then the beginning
of the next game. So whoever plays Kentucky next week, you're welcome.
Yeah, congrats, because this dude's massive.
Yeah,
Carter, number 90.
It's a big guy.
Yeah.
See, I don't like the way he's trying to hype up the crowd on his way out the field.
Somebody said that last week. They were like, "Yeah, if you get ejected, you should not be pumping up the crowd.
Get off the field.
Yeah, just leave."
They should have like a transporter where they like go into this like elevator and go down under the field. There's a tunnel down there.
Ejected,
right?
I love watching Dan Mullen on the sideline. Like,
see,
as much as I hate Florida, I love
I wasn't when they hired Dan Mullins, I wasn't a fan, honestly. Like, I didn't understand why we were bringing in Dan Mullins, but he's won me over the last 2 years. Yeah, man. After having, Muschamp, that guy.
Muschamp is the most overrated head coach in the history of head coaches. I will
completely agree with you. And you would think that South Carolina would have seen that how terrible he would. Now, he can coach a defense. I would have him as a defensive coordinator.
God, where was he defensive coordinator at?
LSU.
Okay, yeah.
He was at LSU, and then he went to Miami with Nick Saban. When Nick Saban went to Miami.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if he was the defensive coordinator, but he did follow Nick Saban to Miami.
Was he at
on
Auburn?
The coaching staff. Yes, I believe he was.
So he was
I believe
at Auburn,
he was the defensive coordinator at Auburn as well. And then that's when he got the head coaching job at Florida.
Got head coaching job at Florida.
He brought in some great defensive, though.
Yeah,
great
defensive. He knew players.
Yeah, man. That guy
defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, but as far as running a team, I just don't think he's there yet. Nice pass.
Wow. He dumped that strike.
Oh, my he's God. Still running.
The run after
he's
the
still
catch.
going. What a play. 5 minutes left.
He was hype on that. Those pits.
Florida is inside the 10-yard line and threatening to score.
Trask he's going to make Franks transfer or quit.
Well, Franks may not play anymore this season. You got to think about that too, but you never know, man. It feels like every time a starting quarterback goes out, the backup always comes in and shines. At least during that game. Now, we have the Tennessee next week, so we'll see. We'll see what lies ahead of Trask. Then that's going to be a big game because that's a big rivalry for Florida, even though we're going to be at home.
So did Franks come in for Will Grier?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's how this all started.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Will Greer's fault that
him and his doping
that they were handed Franks that way.
Yeah, but touchdown Florida.
Trask. This dude is about to be a legend.
Hey, Heisman Trophy. I'm calling it right now. That way, if this podcast gets on ESPN, I called it. Trask for the Heisman.
So what is he, sophomore?
I think Trask is a junior.
Junior, that's
right. I think him and Franks both are juniors.
Okay.
Are we going for a 2-point conversion? I'm confused as to why. We really must not trust our kicker. Oh, we're trying to get up by 3.
Yeah.
Got you. There's no point in being up by 2, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
They don't run the same play you ran last time. Oh, okay. I guess they were trying to fake it.
Yeah, that was – I'm not a fan of –
because they had the trips.
I'm not a fan of that. I understand what they were doing there, but that's a tough 2 yards to pick up.
Cash
and
Daniel,
shotgun.
Cash Daniel is a character, and he is a crazy white boy, and he was basically getting in Trask's face. And I believe Trask is a crazy white boy.
Yeah.
That was just 2 probably country boys just
2 F-150s going at it. 2 F-150s with mud tires going at it. At Sonic.
Oh, man.
All right, Florida just went up by 1 point.
Oh, shoot. Let's get back to this fight.
Wonder how many people have texted me, man. Y'all about to lose. And that still may be the case, but, you know. All right, so we're back at the fight. Looks like Teixeira is actually getting pummeled off of his back right now. He's on bottom side control.
Round 3.
Got an underhook here. Oh, yeah, this is the final round. 25 seconds left. Not sure who's been winning this fight. He's got a deep half guard here. He's going to come up on that, but the fence is in his way. Pull that leg out.
Do they do co-main events for 5 rounds? Or
no, just the main events. The main events. Sharon is in mount now. Well, no, he's in half guard. So at least he ended the round on top. So that was a nice deep half guard sweep that he did there.
So, Jesus, he looks like he got beat up.
Yeah,
man. The left side of his face is moused.
Not sure who won this fight. I know that first round was really, really close, and it was very hard to call. So I'm not sure what the second and third round looked like, but it wouldn't surprise me if Glover lost this fight. He's still a force to be reckoned with in the light heavyweight division, but the guy has been doing it for a long time.
I guess I'll just fast forward that. Man, I think that the females with the transgender type stuff, that junk is crazy to me.
Yeah, you
seen that one chick that was just blowing through everybody, then got beat by a female?
Yeah, I've actually seen her fight in person before.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. She's I don't know, man. It's one of those things where is it fair to have somebody born a man has since changed to be fighting in a woman's division.
That's a lot of built up testosterone over
time.
Man,
I don't know. I you know what? The girl she actually lost to was Ashley, who's out of California, that beat her. And I've been following Ashley's career for a long time. I remember telling her maybe 7 years ago, like, she's going to be a champion because, she just had that fire in her. She has a wrestling base, too. And then she fought, the transgender athlete, and she beat her. But, Ashley's in the UFC now. Really, really tough girl. She fought Pennington. She lost to Pennington. So, yeah, looks like Teixeira won the fight, split decision. So that tells me it was a pretty close fight. So he's still up there in the light heavyweight division.
I'll tell you this. So when I first started watching UFC and saw Daniel Cormier, he was hating on John Jones so much, and I hated Daniel Cormier. I still feel like I hate him. But after listening to Joe Rogan talk about how good of a guy he is, and then like me watching him now, and then like even after who did he just fight? Miocic?
Yep.
Even after that, like, he seems like such a really nice guy, and I
is.
feel bad.
See, that's the one thing.
I hate him so much.
That's the one thing I've never understood about. Like, Cormier is one of the most hated UFC fighters, and I don't know why.
John Jones.
Yeah, I think it is because John Jones is so popular. But I like Cormier. I think Cormier is a hard worker. I think he's a really gifted athlete. I mean, he's an Olympian, right? He's awesome
IQ.
wrestler. His fight IQ is crazy. Because if you look at him, you'd be like, oh, nah, man. But the guy is phenomenal, man.
He looks like the uncle at the barbecue.
Think about this. This man dominated the heavyweight division, right? When he started Strikeforce, he dominated, never lost, right? Went to light heavyweight, basically dominated it without, outside of the John Jones fight. And then he went back to heavyweight and won the championship. Now, he did lose recently, but think about that for a minute.
Yeah, he lost to a guy he had beat.
Yeah, but, without a doubt, Daniel Cormier is one of the all-time greats in the UFC. All-time greats mixed martial artists. I mean, Hall of Famer, no doubt. Uriah Faber, that's my guy right there, man.
California kid.
So, just a story about, Uriah Faber was actually when he was with the WEC, that's when I actually started watching, MMA. The WEC, actually my roommate in the Air Force, TJ, he was a Air Force wrestler. So he was on the Air Force wrestling team. He actually turned me on to MMA because I didn't really, or the UFC, because I didn't really know anything about it. And he was really high on Uriah Faber because of his wrestling background. Okay. And he had trained with him. And, I started watching the WEC with him. We would go out and watch it. And, man, that guy was so phenomenal. Like, how John Jones and George St. Pierre and Daniel Cormier and all those guys was dominating the UFC. That's how he was dominating the WEC, man. I mean, he was just running through those guys. And he was, and I actually, fun fact, I actually met, met him in Nashville a couple years ago. Great guy. He's like 3 feet tall, though. So he had to stand up on like 4 steps to take a picture. So we were eye level. But he's a really, really awesome guy, man. Wow. Does a lot for his community there in Sacramento as well.
So we flip back to the Kentucky game, and as soon as we flip back, Kentucky throws this ball toward the out of bounds, and it's like a back shoulder throw, and the receiver made a phenomenal catch.
Yeah, it was great. And it looks like they're in field goal range, but he was out of bounds. Is that reviewable? That's a reviewable play, right?
I don't think it is.
Oh man, he had 2 feet out of bounds. He had 2 feet out of bounds on that play.
Unless they say he got pushed out.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you're out of bounds, whether you get pushed out or not. You can't be the first one to come back in and touch the ball. And you notice the referee's hat was off too.
Yeah, he probably noticed.
So that tells me that he stepped out. So I don't understand that play. What happened there? Look like we got a Florida player down. So all Kentucky needs is a field goal, and we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the game, right? Is that how funky the kicker looked for Kentucky? So
this will be interesting.
You gotta think they're probably looking for a touchdown, right?
Oh man!
Unless all of his kicks look like that, but he makes them, so I'm not sure what his background is.
You know what looks real stupid right now is the fact that their kicker. I wonder who the holder is because so for those of you who don't know this, the holder is usually the backup quarterback.
Yes.
Let me tell you this: Kentucky's kicker is wearing the number 12. Kentucky's backup quarterback, who is now the starting quarterback, wears number 12. Fun fact, you can't have 2 players with the same number on the field at the same time. So if Kentucky's holder is their 3rd string quarterback, he's probably fresh. He's probably a new holder.
Let's hope he's a new holder.
That might be why their kicks have been so bad, because they've got a new holder.
Yeah, you might be right.
Because most teams use their backup quarterback. And if it's the starting quarterback, then it's the guy that's in right now.
Yeah. So it just showed a stat that he's 2 for 3 on the season on field goals, and his actual long was 46 yards. So he can definitely kick the ball. He's definitely within his range right now, right? It looks like this is about a 40-yard field goal from where they are on the field now. With 1 minute left. Now, Will is did he call a timeout?
Yeah. Mullen was
Yes,
sprinting out there.
Dan Mullins called a timeout, so which is smart. He probably should have done that earlier to preserve some time because they're definitely within field goal range.
Yeah.
So if they get this field goal, you want time to be able to drive downfield and for us to be able to kick a field goal as well. So
I mean, the good thing is that Florida is up. That's for them because if they weren't up, then that would look real weird.
yeah, the bad thing is obviously they done. Is that the same kicker right here that just kicked that in 2017?
That was a far kick.
Yeah. Man, what a game.
Yeah, I brought that point up earlier because Alabama has actually switched to the starting quarterback. Tua is the holder. And then when Mac Jones is in there for Tua, Mac Jones becomes the holder. So Tua's not always the holder. I don't think.
That's actually smart, right?
Actually, I think he is always the holder because one time his little brother was in the game and he just handed the ball off, but Bama scored a touchdown, and then Tua had to go hold for the kick.
Right.
So Tua's the starting quarterback and he's the holder. So I wonder who Kentucky has as their holder. I haven't been paying attention.
Well, it looks like Florida held them on third down, so we might be seeing a kick here from kickers coming on the field. So what does it look like? Maybe a 36-yarder? Where are they at on the field? 36, 37-yard kick right here.
Then this crowd looks stressed. They look stressed. Signs of a team who doesn't have a good kicker.
Well, I you know what the hope is for them is that they have a lot of good alcohol at local bars around there. That's what I'm hoping they can drown their sorrows away.
Well, the SEC just started allowing
at
alcohol in the
games, which is
stadiums.
probably not a smart thing to allow a bunch of country people to drink alcohol while watching football.
Yo, I was surprised that LSU didn't have like a record number of fights or anything. LSU fans are crazy.
You know what? The number of fights is probably going to eventually be a stat that they're going to show on ESPN.
Alcohol-related incidents.
Right. SEC is leading the nation in alcohol-related incidents.
Okay, so whoever 16 is looks like the punter. Like, I don't know what this guy's occupation on the team is, but from the looks of his attire, he looks like the punter. He's got 2 sweatbands on,
35-yard
and a
kick.
glove.
Ball's down.
And he hooked it.
He hooked it. It's no good. It is no good. Wow. I would say I feel bad for him.
That's why they look so stressed.
But if I'm going to be honest with you, I do feel bad because he's just a kid.
Florida is celebrating like they've been new.
But they don't. Why are they talking to the fans,
They are
though?
talking trash to the fans.
Here's the thing about Florida players, though. Most of them are felons already, and a few of them have committed some type of murder. So,
Oh my God!
it looks like it was a good hold, though.
Good
didn't it?
hold. The
Just
kicker
he just
hooked
shanked it.
to the right.
He just shanked it.
Oh my
Man, that's heartbreaking, man. You led. Look, he was talking to him. You
Yeah.
see that? You led the team the whole game, basically. Man, he's got to keep his head up, though. You know, they played a really good game. They played the number 9 team in the country.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, let's not. I think Kentucky still has all 3 timeouts, so the game is not over yet. We'll still have to get a first down.
Now, if Franks was in the game, this would be.
Oh
a lot
yeah,
more
Franks was in the game. It'd definitely be in the bag for Kentucky.
This would be interesting, but if
We still got to get a first down.
I think Trash can help him out.
There we go. Pretty good pickup on first down.
Yeah, Stoops is going to be on that ref's butt the whole time trying to.
Here's the thing: if we don't get a first down, they'll still have about 35 seconds to. Now they won't have any timeouts, but they'll have time to drive the ball downfield. And this is college; the clock stops on first down, so it's not in the bag yet. So for all you Florida fans out there, don't get too excited.
Now, this podcast started out with us wanting to just do, like, some of the fights. Well, then we went into football, and everybody knows how passionate I am about college football. So we're going to finish this game because Kentucky has 2 timeouts left, and it's 2nd and 7.
Right.
There's 48 seconds left in this game.
And that's a good thing about having like a recording device for the fights. We can rewind it and start it from the beginning, and you'll never know anything different. So what?
All right, so they've got two out wide.
Would you throw the ball here on one of these downs, or would you run it on all 3?
I'm running all 3, make them use all their time.
So you're gonna trust your defense to be able to hold with 35 seconds left?
Absolutely, because they've got Smith isn't playing good, but at the same time, he's no all-star quarterback. He's just playing good tonight.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's playing really well. At least he did the first half.
Yeah.
I don't think they scored this half yet. Yeah, they just did, right?
Yeah.
No, they haven't scored in the second half. I don't think.
What was the score? 14-10?
At halftime?
I think so.
Yeah, it was. He scored early in the third quarter.
14-7, I think it was at halftime.
So Florida is ranked number 9 in the country. They were number 11 last week. They moved down because of some losses. I can guarantee they won't be number 9 in the country when they play Tennessee next week. They'll probably move back to 11.
Did they drop Florida after the Miami game?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they dropped them to number 11 because I believe they started the season at number 8. And then they beat Miami, and then they dropped them to number 11. And then they beat UT Martin, and they went back up to number 9.
Wow.
And now they're in a struggle with Kentucky.
That's a risky play.
Nice. And that ended the game, though.
And it's a touchdown.
Yeah. And he's at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10.
Oh!
Touchdown, Gators.
He almost got tripped
and that'll end the game.
He almost got tripped
What
up.
a play. I think that's the same play that the Panthers tried to run Thursday, except they actually handed it to the running back.
Oh,
yeah, they ran that same exact play Thursday night. This was a big win, man. I know it doesn't look like that on paper because Kentucky wasn't ranked and Florida's number 9, but this was a huge win. We did not play well, and
they stole this one.
Truly, even before Felipe got hurt, we were terrible. We wasn't playing very well. Yeah. So, Trask came in and he played a really good game, really solid game. So, I'm excited to see what his future holds for the rest of the season.
Now, all the Kentucky fans are leaving the stadium. They still have 1 timeout, and if they score a touchdown, they can go for 2.
Yes.
And they can tie the ball game.
They can, but they also are Kentucky fans, and they actually attend the University of Kentucky. So I'm not sure if they do math in Kentucky.
I don't think they understand. They could still put this game into overtime.
Yeah, they'd rather go drink beer at this point.
I'm talking this dude is running in for a touchdown, the Florida guy. And the fans are leaving while he's running in for a touchdown.
Right.
He could have missed the extra point, and Kentucky could have won the game on a 2-point conversion, or just kick the extra point.
Yeah.
Tie it.
I think when I went to Kroger Field, they used to have a big calculator on by the jumbotron that helped them with simple math.
Man.
So. It may be the reason why they left. They may not understand that it is a possibility that they can return this for a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion.
If they didn't have any timeouts, I would understand. But you still have 1 timeout.
And there's 30 seconds left.
That can change a game.
Right.
Just having a single timeout. Because all you got to do is go out of bounds. How much time did Tennessee beat Florida? Did Florida beat Tennessee?
Last year?
It was like that.
No, we was actually in the stadium. It was Florida beat Tennessee on that Hail Mary from Felipe Franks.
So
yeah, man, you talking about a stadium that went crazy.
How much time was left?
When he scored or when he threw it?
Yeah, when it
started. Man, it had to be less than 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't remember exactly what was on the clock, but there was no way people thought we were going to win, man.
That's crazy.
That stadium erupted.
All right, this is the first play of the drive. Oh, he almost threw a pick.
Yeah, he did. But you got to think about it. Like, what do they need to get to? The 40 of Florida to get a good Hail Mary? Maybe the 50?
We haven't really seen Smith launch it yet. I don't know if he's.
So I'd say maybe the 40, maybe 30 yards to launch a good Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And the clock stops, and they still got a timeout. So this game is far from over, folks.
Yeah. I mean, the average college quarterback should be able to. Ooh.
Oh, that was an incomplete pass. It was good defense.
He should be able to throw it at least 50. The average college quarterback can throw it at least 50.
Well, we know somebody who could throw it, Felipe Frank. He just threw it to the wrong team a lot of the time.
70 to
that guy has an
team.
arm, man. That guy has an arm.
Apparently, Odell Beckham has a cannon for him.
Yeah, I seen that video. That guy's a freakish athlete, man.
Yeah, he plays soccer. He can kick field goals. I seen him kick like a 50-yard field goal.
Got him.
You better get out of bounds.
Yeah. But it doesn't help. It's fourth down now,
that's right?
It's fourth down and like 4.
10.
Well, he caught it, so maybe it's 4 or 5 now.
Let's see.
So maybe they'll just get enough to get a first down, right? To keep the because you kind of have to, right? You don't want to throw it too far downfield and throw it up to chance. So throw a little short pass, a little out route right here. Maybe.
Again, they still have one timeout.
Right.
So if they just get this first down, go out of bounds, and then do another play just so you can get at least to the 50.
I'd throw a quick out route right here to the receiver.
Giving them so much room.
Yeah, right. All they needed
now
was
call
that.
your timeout.
Well, they don't. Did they use the timeout?
I would.
They did. I may have tried to spike the ball on that. But you got to wonder how much time has he had within the 2-minute offense as well, right? Because you may need the reason why I would have done that. Because let's say you catch the ball 30 yards downfield. And now you got to run those big linemen down there, right? You could have had your timeout saved. Now you threw that, 8-yard pass. You get up, you spike it. You still got, 9 seconds left. So,
well, I think it takes probably what? Well, let's see. They're on the
40? They look like they about at the 40.
Yeah, it's going to take any of their receivers probably 5 seconds just to get close to the end zone.
Right, but you could have picked up 10 yards here.
Yeah.
Enough for a first down and save that timeout and then used it and had a couple Hail Marys in your pocket. Now I think you only got two.
They're on their own 40. They're not even on their opposing.
You only got 2 plays right now. And so you got 1 play left. Maybe 2. Left. No, you have 1 because you can't throw it down the middle anymore, right? So I don't think he has the arm to throw it this far. Yeah, it's end zone or bust here. You know they may run this play where you continue to throw it short.
Hook and ladder.
Yeah. They're going to hook and ladder us to death.
I don't know about that. You're Kentucky.
There's no way he's got the arm to launch this to the he may. I may be underestimating him.
Do you remember that game? I think it was Arkansas was playing somebody, and they did a freaking hook and ladder. And
yeah, that's the game I'm thinking about.
God, what? I don't even remember who they were
Here
playing.
it is, the hook and ladder. Oh. They got one more play.
1 second.
They got 1 more second. Man. They was definitely finna run the hook and ladder play. Oh. Did that second click up?
They still got 1 second.
Yeah, they do.
They still got 1 second.
But as a fan, the game is over.
Dan Mullen, get back on that sideline.
No, as a fan, the game is over.
2 seconds.
Whoa.
They put 2 seconds on the clock.
I guess we're playing in Kentucky tonight, right?
They are playing.
They might as well put 6 seconds back on the clock.
They about to. Oh man, they about to bring out.
Look, Bob Stoops was like, if you don't put 2 seconds back on the clock, you all fired.
Benny Snell's back in the game.
Right. Hey, where did Randy Moss come from?
Florida's calling a timeout. Oh,
man, we really want to hang out in Kentucky tonight.
Interesting.
Man, if I was Dan Mullins, like, when we get back to Florida and get prepped for the Tennessee game, I'd let them know, like, I appreciate your, you guys hustling it out to the end, but this game shouldn't have been this tight.
Yeah, that kicker right now, they're showing him he looks distraught.
Yeah, man, I feel bad for him. He's gonna get a lot of DMs tonight. Yeah. Not the good kind.
Yeah, imagine though, like in the world today, it's nothing compared to college back. In the 80s.
Kids probably get all. I might slide in his DMs tonight and tell him I tell
they're getting both sides of the spectrum. Like these college kids, oh my God, he lobbed that ball deep.
Why are we kind of catching?
Florida picked it off, though. Game's over.
Yeah.
But, yeah, these kids are getting
all
kinds of exposure. And, as I said, both sides of the spectrum, they're probably getting more vajayjay than they've ever gotten in their entire lives.
Yeah, man, they probably.
When I was in college, I went to school at Jacksonville State University, and
I think this fight is over.
I think it is. We just flipped back to the fight, and
you want to rewind it to the front?
Over. Let's see. But so I went to school with this dude who he helped JSU beat Ole Miss. So we beat Ole Miss my freshman year. And I won't say his name, but I heard he got any pussy that he wanted when he was in college. I mean, he was a quarterback of the team.
Oh.
And
yeah, man.
It was he just picked a girl.
Right. That's actually my game when I go out. I go out and have a couple of beers, and I'm like, hey, I play quarterback. Right? and she's like, for what school? I'm like, does it matter? I'm a quarterback. I can call audibles, and then they're like, well, call a play, and I'm like, Blue 47, Omaha. So I call audibles right there in the middle of the bar, right? But yeah, man, you're kind of a superstar, right?
Yes.
Even some of these high school athletes are superstars, right?
Yes.
Which is crazy.
As I was telling you earlier, me and Rachel, we were at a Marietta versus Grayson. We went to two powerhouse schools in Georgia. We went to that game, and there's probably 30 plus kids with D1 scholarships between the two teams. And some guys are sitting behind us, and they're like, hey, which one's number yada yada, or which one is that guy? They had called out this guy's name. I think he plays for Auburn now. But they had probably traveled. They don't even know this kid. They're not family, friends, or nothing. But they came just to watch that kid play. The kid's probably 17, 18 years old. And people were traveled to watch him play football.
It's crazy. I couldn't even get my family to travel 2 miles down the road to watch me play. I'm like, you coming to the game? They're like, where you playing at? I'm like, at the high school. They're like, nah, man, you got gas money? I'm like, gas money? You live across the street from the high school. Man. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, sports now are way bigger than they were when I was in school. So, yeah, we're back at watching the fight now. Man, Donald Cerrone looks tiny. What happened? Like, he looks like he cut a lot of weight.
Cowboy.
He looks very, very small. Gaethje has heavy hands, man. Heavy hands. This guy is known to eat shots. Like, he will take one to give one. The ultimate take one to give one guy. And his leg kicks are otherworldly, man. He dominated Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson is a phenomenal kickboxer and a boxer, and he dominated Michael Johnson, man. That's how good this, and that was his first fight in the UFC. Like, he was huge on a smaller circuit, but he was undefeated and he was the champion. Mm-hmm. And his first fight against Michael Johnson was a top 10. Oh, nice overhand.
Gaethje was coming out with those kicks.
Yeah, man, that's what his kicks are nasty. But when he ends his fights are ended from TKOs.
Cowboy looks serious.
Yeah, but man, Cowboy he looks small. Is this fight at 155 or 170?
I think it's 55.
It has to be because he looks tiny. Man, those leg kicks. He's eating those. He can't eat too many of those. Donald Cerrone is one tough dude, man. There's no guy that fights as much as this dude. Ooh, nice uppercut.
Cerrone.
Dude, he's finna catch one of those in a minute.
That stash is mean.
Yeah, man.
Matching his face right now. I mean, it looks like they're trying to fill each other out, but at the same time, they haven't been scared to throw hands.
By fill each other out, you mean knock each other out? You are absolutely correct, sir. This shit is wild.
Because, you know, they're doing a little bit of dodging and whatnot, but at the same time, they're throwing.
There it is, man.
They're throwing.
Man, he's gonna catch too many of those from Gaethje. That one of them gonna land is gonna put Cerrone on his butt.
Man, what fight was that? Oh, that was Cormier and Miocic. Miocic just found a spot.
He found what was working, and he kept going back to that body shot, man.
He found those body shots and just kept going.
Yep.
And
Cormier wasn't doing anything about it either.
That was so crazy. Like, but, I mean, at the same time, you're Cormier and you know what you're doing. You don't want to change your whole game plan just because Miocic hit once.
Right.
And then Miocic was like 2.
Right.
3. And it's like, all right. You should probably change something up.
Yeah.
He found your button.
He did. He kept pushing it until he put him down. You know, Donald Cerrone also has some fierce leg kicks. I'm wondering why he hadn't threw any. I don't think he's thrown one kick yet. He's known for chopping legs too, so maybe we'll see that going forward.
And plus,
nice combo.
He looks maybe an inch or two.
Oh, I think he definitely has the reach on Gaethje, but you see how Gaethje's getting on the inside of him. See, Gaethje's not waiting to counter. Gaethje is throwing that overhand. See how he's throwing that overhand? Mm-hmm. And he's barely missing Cerrone. Eventually, it's going to catch. Right there.
Oh,
see how that rocked him?
Yeah, it rocked him a little bit.
Yeah, man. Cerrone's got to start throwing that jab out there to keep Gaethje on his heels. Because right now, Gaethje is kind of dictating the action.
Yeah, he is. You can tell he's throwing different kinds.
Yeah, man.
And he's ducking and dodging around. He knows what he's doing.
Gaethje looks real good tonight.
I think it'll be interesting to see because how old is Cerrone compared to Gaethje? Doesn't look too old.
I think Cerrone may be in his mid-30s.
Now, age shouldn't be too much of a factor as far as like your stamina, but sometimes
eventually, man. Oh, there it is.
And there he is.
There's that overhand.
Uppercut.
Dropped him.
He dropped. Ref, stop the fight. Stop the fight, ref.
Nice. Oh, he blamed. Who's
he's
blaming at the ref?
Yeah, he's
mad at stopping the fight.
He's mad at the ref for not stopping because he didn't want to have to hurt him.
Right. Wow,
you
man.
Don't want to have
what did he clip him with?
Man.
Was it a short overhand? Oh man, he was like,
yeah,
man,
Cerrone didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah. He told the ref, fuck you.
That's props to Gaethje because Gaethje knew he was out and then wanted the ref to stop the fight because he didn't want to have to hit him again.
Yeah, but
Gaethje is pissed off at the ref.
That was a one hell of an expedition by Gaethje, but Cerrone looks like he shouldn't have stopped the fight. Cerrone know he was out? Oh yeah, man, it looks like
so he just clips him there.
Right here, overhand, man. That overhand right is what clipped him.
And Cerrone's looking at him, but he ain't there.
He's definitely semi out of it here.
And boom, boom, boom.
And them uppercuts. And then another short right.
And Gaethje's looking at the ref saying, hey, stop the fight.
Right, and the ref waited a little longer than he probably should to stop the fight, and then Cerrone trying to figure out why he stopped the fight.
Cerrone had no idea.
So they was on two different spectrums. Cerrone's like, why did you stop it? And Gaethje's like, why didn't you stop it sooner?
Yeah, they're hugging and smiling because they seem like some good competitors.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, man, I know probably Cerrone is probably going to be on a medical suspension for maybe 60 days, but right after that, he'll be fighting again. You cannot keep that man out of the cage.
The person who used to kill me about that was Chris Lieben.
I love Chris Lieben. You know Chris Lieben, he still fights in bare knuckle fighting.
Oh, my
He fights
God.
in bare knuckle fighting league, man. Chris Lieben was if there was a perfect contestant for CTE, Chris Lieben is gonna be that guy.
They could wake Chris Lieben up. They could probably buy a hotel for Chris Lieben at every UFC and then just wake him up in the middle of the night and be like, hey, man, we realize you got to fight. And he would just go fight.
Yeah, he did not care. But he was a tough dude, man, until he ran into Anderson Silva. Remember that fight? I think that was Anderson Silva's first fight in the UFC was Chris Lieben, if I'm not mistaken, and he beat him. But that was Anderson Silva's. No, that was his first rise to fame.
Yeah, so Justin Gaethje wins by TKO in the first round, 4 minutes and 18 seconds into it.
They both finna go have a few beers after this, man, in Vancouver.
Yeah. Bunch of good old boys.
Yeah. Man, I love Donald Cerrone and Justin Gaethje, man. There's a bunch of tough dudes. Just like to fight.
Yeah, they're all smiling and happy about it because you could see it. Gaethje knew that he had won the fight. He knew he had knocked him out, but the ref just didn't stop it, and Gaethje was trying to get him to stop it.
So I wonder what's next for Gaethje. I mean, he's been in the top 5, top 10, actually since the fight with Michael Johnson. He's lost a couple tough ones. But I think he'll get back to maybe a championship level soon. So I wonder what they got. Wonder what Dana White and they have planned for Justin Gaethje.
I mean, do guys usually talk with their team and be like, hey, this is who we need to go after this? Say if we win this fight, we should probably go after this guy, or does the guy usually have like a person in mind that he thinks I would compete best against this guy, or I just really want to fight so-and-so?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, it's smart for you to talk to your coaches before you go into a fight to let them know, hey, if I win this fight, I'm going to call out this person. And maybe you even contact the coaches from whoever you calling out and say, hey, I'm going to call you out. You're going to be at the fight. Camera's gonna pan to you or whatever. Yeah, it's just like that Diaz and Masvidal fight, right? So Diaz won, and then obviously he was there, so he called him out, and now they're fighting, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna be an awesome fight. So Justin Gaethje versus anybody is an awesome fight, man.
Gaethje's 21-2.
Yeah, his 2 losses have both been in the UFC.
See, most lightweight knockouts since 2017. Gaethje is number 1 at 4.
So this is 155. That's why Cerrone looks so tiny, man.
Look like Skeletor.
Yeah.
Poirier, who is probably going to be fighting McGregor next, right?
He's trying to, but I don't know if that's a fight that's on the cards, man. I want to see. Tony Ferguson fight one of these guys. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Gaethje, man.
Ferguson.
But it's time for that guy to have a championship fight, man. Al Kukui is out here beating everybody convincingly, and he just hasn't been. He feels like he's not. Him and Dana White have been into it over his fights, and he's just not one of those guys that's gonna walk the line, right? He's gonna push the issue, and he's gonna, talk, say whatever he wants to say, honestly. And I think that's been his problem is, he won't conform. He's not a conformist type guy. So
yeah. Well, all right. That has been the Romera Records podcast with Marques Williams.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Maybe we can do it again. I don't know if it'll be a fight or a game or just random shit that we talk about. Because I am random.
So we were trying to get. You have a friend named Travis. We're trying to get Travis on.
Yeah, man. You like I was telling you. Usually because we train together. And usually when we get together, whether that's during training, after training, or whatever the case may be, man, there's fireworks because we talk about any and everything. We have no boundaries, and that's probably not a good thing always, but and we can seem to never agree on shit, honestly. So it makes for some interesting conversation. So yeah, maybe we can get Travis in here. We can all kind of sit down and just talk about whatever. You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, so for everybody watching, I just now got the actual video camera, so we can have as long as podcasts as we want, and I really want to have like a really in-depth one, just talking about whatever. And usually I'm trying to get to know a person and stuff like that, but I work with you and already know you, so we'll be able to just talk about something and just ramble.
yeah maybe you guys can write in to see what you like to hear us talk about. Nothing's off limits for us, trust me. I promise you that. It's we talk about any and everything because it's good to get that out there. No censorship here.
For sure. All right, well, thank you for everybody for listening, and stay tuned for next time. See ya.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Romera Records Podcast again. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. That subscribe button lets me know you're actually paying attention to the podcast, all right? So click that little red button, subscribe to the channel, like the video that you watch, and also leave a comment. Leaving a comment lets you interact with me. If you have some questions about things that are said, I'll answer them. I promise. It's what I do. It's kind of my job. So hit subscribe, like, comment. Let's keep it rolling.